Welcome back. It's another episode of the One Man Show. I did not forget the show's name this time.
Very good, right?
And today we have the brilliant and the brave Tiffany No Chill Teo.
Hi guys.
I'm impressed. You know her fight name.
My name.
No Chill?
Yeah, no chill.
Hang on, okay.
Why?
Before we talk about the fight name, I just wanna give a heartfelt thanks to Tiffany for winning at the last ONE FC Heart of the Lion. And you really showed the heart of a lion to be your opponent. And I'm glad that finally Singapore has a winning fighter, because the last time there was a fighter that was hyped up who was Singaporean, right? He went to fought at the Raw
You went to
Singapore,
fight. Get your English right.
and we only heard him meow. There was no Raw at all.
I wonder who.
Yeah, I wonder who also.
Ouch. Ouch.
So
burn.
congrats, Tiffany.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
Brilliant fight, brilliant win. But let's talk about that later. Let's talk
Okay.
about this no chill thing. Are you really no chill?
During training, during sparring, and during fights, yes. Outside of training, I would like to think that I'm very chill. Yeah.
You look very chill.
Yeah.
So how did the name come about?
It's actually from my teammates. You know, when I train, sometimes I just go a little bit crazy, I guess. Yeah, so they're like, "Oh my god, Tiff, you gotta chill, man." And like I'll do like a lot of like, sometimes I'll just do like 3-4 training sessions in a day, and they'll go like, "You have zero chill." So it's kind of like how this nickname came about.
I like it when people get their nicknames from like other people, or they earn that nickname. You know, they don't come out with the nickname themselves. Like suddenly, you're like,
Really?
"Oh, call me the chosen one."
Wow.
Wow.
Come, I
That
clap
is
for
so-
you.
That is so self-centered, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, me, I'm the chosen one. It's like no one gave you the name. You didn't earn that name. How are you the chosen one? Look, Tiffany No Chill Teo. Her friends and her teammates she earned that name.
I didn't choose my name.
Then who chose your name, bro?
I think
Uh,
I
Come
know
on,
who.
spill it out.
Somebody
Yeah.
I don't want to name
Yeah.
yet.
Spill it out.
I will invite him to the show one day. Till then, you're gonna
Looking forward to that.
just stick to the chosen one first.
Now, Tiffany, you somehow knew one. How did you two?
Oh, a long time ago, when I was still fat.
Hang on, you were fat.
Yeah.
Not so, I think. Not so. The first time I saw her when I was working at Venda, that was my first stint on working in a fight
You know,
gym.
that's a funny thing. I thought he's like some random receptionist. Because he was at the reception,
Yeah, I
like,
was
you
at
No
know.
enough, she didn't call you cleaner.
Then after that, like he was I saw him training and smashing pads. I was like, oh shit, it's not just some random receptionist.
Yeah.
I was so surprised, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because back then, I think they gave me a job at Venda where, what was it again? Tanjung Pagar, is it?
No, Tiong Bahru.
Tiong Bahru, yeah, Tiong
Yeah.
Bahru. So, I was only in charge of the kids class. I've never done an adult boxing class before, so I was just the reception, sending gloves, hand wraps, checking people in. Then I see all these people training. Then I saw her training with Zach, all the random Thai guys who come and go. So it was a good first experience working there.
So you started quite early on. How did you get your start in martial arts in general?
I started with Taekwondo, slightly after JC. I know it's kind of weird. Most people start when they are kids.
Yeah, Taekwondo,
Yeah.
After JC, that's kind of late.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're training with what, all the 5-year-olds?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was so weird. Yeah,
The CC?
after at CC, because
my God.
my friends, I had a really close friend back then. Her cousin was coaching at CC Taekwondo, so she asked me to check it out. So I went. I was like, oh shit, my training partners, they're all kids. Yeah, so but I stick to it for like 2 months, and then after that, Contender Asia was getting really popular in Singapore.
It was a
So,
Muay Thai
Yeah,
edition, right?
and then I found out that Zach was coaching at Venda. Yeah, so that's how I got to know about Venda. Yeah.
Yeah, you know who's Zigzag?
No.
No idea. You are
No
an
idea.
idiot. He's the top Muay Thai fighter.
One of the pioneers.
One of the pioneers
yeah.
who came out from here.
From
Yeah,
Singapore.
from Singapore.
So is he
Yeah.
Singaporean?
Yeah, he's Singaporean.
Is he still around?
Yeah.
Is he
Yeah,
still
he's
training?
Malay Singaporean.
Yeah, more coaching, I think, and DJ. He's
yeah,
a
DJ
DJ
is a
now.
DJ now.
Yeah.
So he's a
Yeah.
guest next.
Is his DJ name like DJ Muay Thai or
No.
DJ Shin
DJ
Kick?
Zigzag.
Zigzag, I think,
Zigzag.
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, he has to be more
You won't
creative.
say what when he's here. He's gonna knee you in the face.
Okay,
Yeah.
hopefully we don't ever have him here.
He's a funny guy though.
Face reconstruction. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
cool. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
And then where you went to? So you started taking Muay Thai,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happened next?
Then it was more for fitness at first. Like I never really thought of like doing this professionally. I knew that I would just back then when I first started, I knew that I wanted to fight, but more like a tick off the bucket list rather than pursuing it professionally. So after I joined Vanda, after a few months of training, one of the Thai coaches actually asked me to fight. Like I think it was like after 1 month, like I want to fight professional in Muay Thai in Thailand. I was like, you crazy?
After 1 month,
Yeah,
Hang
yeah.
on, in Thailand.
In Thailand. Yeah, I was
Okay.
like,
he's probably gonna get side money.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, then I was like, nah, it's a bad idea. But I guess that kind of planted a seed in my mind that
Okay.
like one day I could do this. Yeah. So and also I had a lot of commitments back then. I was schooling, I was in uni, and I was like working part time. So I knew that I didn't have the time to commit to training. Like if I really want to fight, I knew that I want to put like time and effort into it and not just fight for the sake of it. Like I want to put in the work. Yeah. So I didn't take the offer, and then after I graduated from uni, I went to Buffalo for a bit for my final year.
Right.
And after I came back, I decided that just give it a try, and that's how I joined Dragonaut. Because when I came back, Arvin, he was looking for, there was a post, my friend sent me his post, he's looking for female fighters. So I just randomly messaged him and I was like, yo, I want to fight. Yeah, so
He must
I
be like, what is this weird
yeah,
ass
yeah,
kid
yeah.
out of
So
nowhere?
he asked me to pop by the gym and like have a talk with him. So
Mhm.
I went to the gym, had a talk with him, and I started training. And after a month of training at Juggernaut, Shafiq the slasher,
Mm.
yeah, he saw me training and he asked if I wanted to fight. Like there's an upcoming Muay Thai fight like in 1 or 2 months. So that's how I started fighting. Yeah.
And when did you know that? Hey, maybe I have something here, so I want to go.
Oh yeah. So I guess fortunately I lost my first Muay Thai fight.
Why? Fortunately.
Because I feel like if I won, it'll be like, oh, it's done. I won my fight.
See,
Bucket
same
list
story.
tick.
Same story. We are the champion.
Yeah, but you keep losing, dude.
I just
Ouch.
lost once. She also lost once before this.
Yeah,
big
yeah,
fight.
but let's talk about amateurs and how many times
What?
how many times you lost back then? Huh? 3 times.
At least I
SEA
tried.
Games
No-
bronze medalist.
Ouch.
Hello, you could have gone 1 above. No, you just wanted 3 bronze.
Yeah, I forgot to pay them some money under the table.
Yeah, sure.
But the thing is, you quit your day job, right?
Yeah,
Your day
I
job
did.
is quite interesting. So tell
Yeah.
us about it, because he's an
So-
idiot. He doesn't know anything about it.
Because I was after. So when I was training for the Muay Thai fight, I was still working as a research assistant with A-Star and
Whoa,
NUS.
hang on, A-star.
Yeah, so I
What,
was.
what did you major in?
I majored in psychology. Yeah, yeah. So my research was a lot of developmental psychology, working with kids.
That's good.
Yeah, so yeah, it was it's like 2 extremes. It's
It
like
is.
yeah,
It is.
yeah. So a lot of people, they are surprised when they hear that. And even after I left that job, I was working a bit with special needs kids with autism, ADHD.
Mm.
Yeah, as a therapist. Yeah.
What do you
So,
do for that? Like,
a lot of behavioral conditioning programs for them. Yeah, because they are not functional enough to be in a regular, even special needs classroom. So they need like one-to-one attention to like slowly teach them what's like socially appropriate behavior. Yeah, and it's through like reward and conditioning. Yeah.
okay.
So, speaking of that, how long did you do that for?
For the therapist, about 6 to 8 months.
Right.
Yeah, because I was still juggling training and being a therapist also. So I left my research job because it's like working hours, like regular working hours, and
You needed flexibility.
yeah. So that's why I did I work freelance as a therapist. It's a bit like a tuition teacher because you can arrange your own schedule.
Mm.
Yeah, but it was also pretty taxing, I realized, mentally. Yeah, and then after that, I got my yoga certification, so I started teaching yoga.
Really?
So I
didn't
left
know
that job. Yeah, so now
Wow.
I'm like teaching yoga.
This
Yeah.
is all really extremes. You go from an A-star
Uh,
researcher to a part-time therapist, special
Yeah.
needs therapist,
Yeah.
to a yoga
Yeah,
instructor,
so
and then you
peaceful.
eventually end up becoming an MMA fighter.
No chill.
Yeah, yeah. it's
Yeah,
all
this
kind
is-
of happen concurrently.
Yeah, this is no chill.
Yeah, I
you know,
guess,
this is the
I guess I'm bipolar. I don't know.
yeah, I would imagine, like in the day, when you're a therapist, you're like really kind to kids, really loving, and at night you're like,
You need to vent it somewhere, I guess.
right?
But do you feel like emotionally attached to these kids, or have you managed to sort of like separate that?
Yeah, I feel like as much as you try to separate, it's hard to, cause you're working with them
Mhm.
on a regular basis. Yeah,
That's what makes you tired, right?
yeah, it's really mentally draining and emotionally. Yeah, and it takes a lot of energy. Working with kids, you always have to be like high energy, and
Mhm.
after that you go to training, it's like you need to have energy again. It's
Yeah, now you
super
know how I feel
draining.
with him.
Again.
Big baby.
If he's a baby, it's a good thing.
coming
Right?
from the guy that
He's a
nobody
pig.
trusts and had to teach the kids class at Venda.
Because I was new, it was my first time.
Nobody liked you, bro. It's just, I just train the kids. Now, again, like I said, what was the landmark thing which made you like, okay, I want to be a pro?
It was a natural progression actually. So after I had my first Muay Thai loss, some of them they told me it's a pretty even fight. Some of them thought I won, and they told me that if I threw more punches, I would have. I was just like spamming leg kicks, low kicks, low kicks, kicks,
Mhm.
kicks, kicks.
That's
So
your
they-
strength, yeah?
Yeah. And then they said like if I set up with more punches or if I landed more punches, I probably have won. So that's how I got into boxing. Yeah. So I started doing boxing, and after about a year of boxing, I had my first amateur boxing fight. Yeah, with Fasha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Hang on, who won? I'm interested in this. Who won?
Yeah, I won.
No chill.
No chill at all.
Yeah, but to be fair, I had weight advantage, Yeah.
So kind of you.
And yeah, she's a beast now, man. I was looking at her fights. Yeah, she grew so much as a
2-0,
fighter, as a
2-0
boxer.
as a pro now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And after that I just went on boxing for a few more fights of boxing, and I at the same time was also doing jiu-jitsu at Juggernaut. Yeah, and after a few grappling tournaments, Arvin was like, "Oh, you can strike, you can grapple, you can wrestle a little bit. Why not try MMA?"
Mhm.
So that's how I got into MMA. In fact, I accepted my first professional MMA fight on 2 or 3 weeks' notice. At Mugambos, is a club by Boki.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was
that's
having a drink with Arvin, and he was preparing for his event,
Right.
Singapore Fighting Championship.
Mm.
So I think he wanted to have a female bout. So he asked, "You down for a fight?" I was like, "What, MMA fight or what?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I had my last drink. I was like, "Okay, let's do this." And he got me an opponent.
No chill. No chill
Yeah,
at all.
so it was kind of random and a natural progression. I didn't really plan for it. Yeah.
And then how did you get picked up by One Championship?
After my third win, so I had I think 2 SFC fight and then a fight in Full Metal Dojo. It's a promotion based in Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah, so after that fight, I think I can't remember if it was Matt Hume or Victor Tree. They contacted Arvin. Like in fact, after my second fight in SFC, they already contacted him. Yeah, but I didn't feel I was ready for that because it's a bigger stage and I was really raw as an MMA fighter. Yeah, so after my third fight, they approached again and they were really sincere about it. Yeah, and they were open to like negotiation and all. So I decided to give it a try.
I think it's amazing you
Yeah.
can say no when a big organization comes to you and says, "You want to fight." I would have like jumped into it, and even if I lost, which I already did, I would.
I
But
didn't say a single
I'm
thing
like,
here.
I just say it for you. But I'm quite surprised. Like, are you surprised that they came back again for the third time and like? Just
Yeah, I
to
was
ask you
pretty
again?
surprised when they came back
Were you
again.
afraid like they might not ask you again, or you sort of know
Uh,
that your skills will eventually?
Yeah, I feel
show?
like I have to take that leap of faith and see
Mm.
where it leads me to. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good. I mean, like you actually put a bit of doubt in yourself, and then you just went for it.
Yeah, sometimes with certain things, it's like there's only one way to find out. It's like
Yeah.
you have to go for it. Yeah.
Now, one championship is becoming known now as one of the biggest MMA promotions in the world, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that that they say set themselves apart from the likes of Bellator or UFC is that they really put the whole being a martial artist, being respectful, being cautious of the art and all that in front.
Yeah.
As someone who fights for them, do you feel that is, do you feel that's the case, that that's the difference?
They emphasize a lot on like having respect for your opponent, for martial arts. And if you look at how the fights are being promoted, it's really different from let's say UFC. Sometimes with certain fights there's a lot of trash talking going on, but I get that too. It's like it hypes up the fight, it makes people want to watch.
It makes
Like,
money.
yeah, exactly. Like I remember when McGregor was fighting, I forgot who he was fighting.
Oh, recently?
Nah, not the recent one, the one before. Yeah, I remember I wasn't interested at first, but the press conference went like crazy. They were throwing like Dasani bottles at each other.
Right, Nate Diaz.
Oh yeah. And then I was like, oh shit, now I want to watch this. Yeah. So it helps to hype up the fight, and yeah, I could see why fighters in UFC they're doing that. Yeah.
But do you think, but I mean, given, if you were given the choice, which way would you?
Yeah, I'm not a very confrontational person. Yeah, so I don't think I'll do too well with all the trash talking. Yeah.
The no chill only happens in the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who else would not do really well in the trash talking? You, because of your limited English, bro. That's why you had to give Abunda a pillow, because you didn't know what to say.
But that got
I
a
like
lot
that
of
though.
attention,
That
It
was
got a lot of
funny. That was a
attention.
good one.
Yeah, accidental attention.
No, it was planned.
Yeah, planned, but it's only because to cover up the fact that you don't know what to say to him.
No, not really. It's all planned. It's all thought of.
Have you ever had an opponent try to trash talk with you?
No, so far I haven't had any. Yeah, they're all really nice and.
But do
Yeah.
they like Chatri say like I know like Dana behind the scenes he's like telling the fighters, no, you need to talk, you need to trash talk, you need to
Oh, hang on, how do you know?
I mean the fighters
Tell you?
yeah, the fighters
McGregor
told me.
call you
Yeah. No, WhatsApp.
Oh, what?
So the fighters open up and say, Dana is doing this and doing that, and he pretends like he doesn't like it, but he's actually enjoying every single bit of it. But I also understand how being humble and all that is also a way of marketing. It can be not genuine also, because I know fighters who are very brash, are very very confrontational, but when they do the marketing, they seem to be like the hero of the country. And it also works both ways. At the end of the day, it's show business.
Yeah.
Do you think the world will watch two boring people fight no matter how good they are?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it is. This is the problem with you, one.
What?
It's a sport, not a show business.
It's show business. When you're in the pro, it's show business.
That's why
If you want to
that's why
represent,
you lost.
what?
You forgot that it's a sport, not a show business.
It's a balance.
It's both actually.
Well, you know Connor, if he's a quiet guy, no.
Well, if he's a quiet guy, but he keeps on knocking people out, I think
You wouldn't.
I'll still watch him.
No, you wouldn't.
Dude, the Diaz
Who
brothers,
else is better than him but quiet?
Habib Nurmagomedov.
No,
He is. Habib doesn't trash talk anyone.
he does.
Sometimes.
Yeah, still.
But not as much as McGregor. But you're asking me, like, I mean, he's quieter than McGregor for sure.
But I guess McGregor is doing the marketing for him. At the end of the day, they all get big paydays because of. Is it because of Khabib? No, it's because of Connor's mouth.
Yeah, then I guess Abunda needs to thank you for selling the fight for him. Then.
Yeah, he needs to tell me that he's gonna get a second fight.
Wait, do you watch his fight?
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't watch your fight also.
Oh, don't worry, you missed nothing. He watched your fight.
What?
You
No,
watched your
just
fight.
not the last one. I watched the previous fight. I was there.
Yeah, I
man.
saw.
Yeah.
I saw a few times.
Yeah.
Do
Just not the last
you
one.
think that you've been in the local scene, you've been in the martial arts scene for a while now. Do you think that locally in Singapore, martial arts has hit its highest peak ever right now in terms of popularity?
Yeah, I guess now it's probably one of the highest. Yeah, and for boxing especially, I feel like it has grew a lot. When I was doing boxing back then, yo, it's hard to find female opponents, man. Yeah, it's like
So she had to fight
frustrating.
Fash. Who's like how
Yeah.
many kilos?
Yeah, and back then I was heavier also. I was working around a heavier weight. Like I struggled to make 61 back then. So I'm dying. I'm like, why do I have to make 61?
Yeah,
Like,
for this fight, what weight do you have to be at?
57.
57?
Yeah.
What's mission to go in 57?
Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, 57.
Do you have like to weigh in front of each other or what?
No, but there'll be people taking your weight for
Yeah.
the officials. Yeah.
Interesting.
It is just let's just
Yeah.
trust the system. Why?
I've been in the sport a bit too long to know that dodgy things happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
dodgy things
sometimes.
do happen sometimes,
Yeah.
but this is
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
championship we're talking about. Not one as in WAN, but
You want to get a job there or what? Why are you being so
ONE.
nice?
Chatri.
I'll give him a call.
Victor.
but it's a really nice promotion though. I think it did better. It was much more grand than the UFC, the recent UFC that also happened in Singapore. I think the production, the people came and do the filming. They brought the whole
yeah.
team Lakai to
Oh yeah, that was
to
nice.
like.
They brought the whole team Lakai to Legends, right?
Oh, they came here?
No, they came here because one of the members were friends with them. That's all.
Ah.
If not, they wouldn't know this place.
Yeah, I will not comment on whether which one is better because I
You
got-
never know where the job might come from.
No, right now
You're a dick
I'm
rider,
being
idiot.
employed by the owners of the UFC, so I can't say shit about the UFC. One FC.
I know you did the one FC a bit higher. So
I know, I did not.
You're in trouble, man.
I gotta ask you something though. I've been to a lot of not one FC, one championship, about a lot of one championship events, and I always notice that there is actually a beating sound.
Oh, the heartbeat, right?
Yes.
When you're
So is it?
yeah.
That's not just me, right? It's
No,
it is
it
there.
is. It
So
is.
what
I
is
think
it
it's
exactly?
only in the Singapore card, though. I don't know.
What habit sound?
There's only
So when
yeah.
the fight is happening in the background, that's just the
Why?
heartbeat. I know it kind of like hypes up the crowd,
Really?
like the
I-
tension, I guess.
I thought it was like
Yeah.
drumming. I thought it was like
no,
I
it's
think
a
it's a
heartbeat. It's
psychological thing
heartbeat. Yeah.
To like hype the people without
Yeah.
them realizing they're being
and
hyped.
they it makes them a bit more tense and oh shit. You
Oh
know?
really? Because
That's what I feel. Yeah.
I know in I think during the Pride days in Japan, it got really quiet when the fighters fight. But that was okay. It's one thing is that everybody's focused on the fight. The other thing is also is Japanese culture to be very respectful.
Yeah.
And in order for the fighters to hear their cornerman, everybody knew that they had to keep quiet so that you can. The only people you hear are the cornermen. So, but then when I think I went for the first ever one championship, I don't know how long ago, they had like Babalu Sobral and all that, Manoff still. Yeah, that's when I realized like, what is this drumming sound? Like it's so weird.
Yeah.
And I thought by now that they are so much bigger, they would have gotten rid of it. But
It's still there. Yeah.
does it affect you in any way, or do you not hear it?
I
at all?
didn't notice it at first until my coaches they told me like, "Oh, are you affected by the heartbeat?" And then that's only after they mentioned I started realizing, "Oh shit, there's this heartbeat." Yeah, but doesn't really affect me that much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Maybe you should try one.
Yeah, go and call Scott. Scott start the heartbeat, man. Make it a bit faster.
Now, let's talk a bit more about your most recent fight, which was just a few days
On
ago.
Friday, yeah.
Few days ago.
2 days. 3 days, yeah.
It's your first fight in a while, right?
Yeah, first fight since January. Yeah, since my first loss. Yeah.
Is that
Why
normal?
why did it make you fight for so long? Do you feel like they're putting you on the shelf or you?
No, actually
you take them in it?
they offered me the fight in KL
To fight who?
around they didn't mention who. They just asked if I wanted to fight. Yeah, I think around July. The KL card was in July. Yeah, and cause after my loss with Jingnan, I was recovering from quite a few injuries also. So it took me a while to get back to training. I was out from training for a good 3 to 4 months. Yeah, and I just kind of like started to train again, and I felt like, I told myself if I fight again, I want my fans, I want everyone to see a different fighter. I don't want to come back as the same fighter. I want them to see like the improvements I've made and all.
Damn, now you're
Yeah.
making me rethink again my decision to do the rematch in March.
Very good. This is exactly why we needed here today.
Why it's a bit too late?
Uh,
Ambunda, can we postpone this?
yeah, but that's just me though. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
were you shocked when you finally agreed to fight on the Singapore Cup? Were you shocked who your opponent was gonna be?
Not really, cause the division is pretty small now. Kind of like it's just those few that I left for me to fight. Yeah, so I kind of guess it's either Nicolini or like another
Is
fighter.
Mayo in your weight class?
Yeah, we are in the same weight class.
She's still signed to ONE FC, right?
Yeah, she's still signed to. I think she took a short break to focus on jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, she was in the Asian Games.
Yeah, yeah, but I think she plans to fight again if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, she should.
Yeah.
I think you and
Yeah.
her might eventually meet and be the
Yeah,
main event or
for
something.
sure. It'll be
and
I think it's just a matter of
Singapore
time.
and Singapore, that would be
Yeah,
Just a matter of time. I
Yeah.
think. I think it's bound to happen.
yeah, yeah. It's a small division, so like, yeah, just a matter of time. I'm sure it'll happen.
brilliant.
And yeah, looking forward to that.
And
too.
you were saying before we started this that you saw the odds.
Oh yeah, I was pissed, man. Like on the day of the fight, I was like braiding my hair, and then I was like scrolling, and they tagged me. Like, yeah, they tagged me. I was like, these fools.
I guess that fired you up even more.
Yeah. I was like,
Peasants,
I
they
was
know
so
nothing.
I was so pissed. It's like Michelle versus Tiffany, who you got. So it's the Instagram post. Oh yes, Michelle is like, I think it was like I was 18% and Michelle was like 82 or some shit. And I was like, these fools, gonna show them
These
what's up.
fools don't know nothing. They
yeah,
don't know
yeah, it got
nothing.
me fired up. Yeah,
So
for
she's
sure.
an 8-time world champion in
Jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Do you know if she has any good striking game or no? Or you don't really care?
I've watched a few of her fights. Most of her one championship fights, you can't really tell if she's a good striker because once the fight starts, fist bump, she will just throw a few punches, get the takedown, finish it.
Because I got
Yeah.
to speak to Chow Wei for a bit before,
Mhm.
I mean a few weeks before your fight.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the people who, I know he's your fan and he's your friend and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
your brother.
Yeah.
And I think other than that, he is like super excited for the fight.
Yeah,
and
he
he's super
was,
confident that
he
you will win.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
to be honest, I was slightly worried
Because of the ground game.
because of the ground game. Because, I mean, for boxing, you have only two hands to worry about.
Yeah.
And this one, you have to worry about so many things.
Takedowns, the
Takedowns
strikes,
and
everything. Yeah.
2 hands, one,
Yeah.
and you still can.
At least I'm doing something.
Always
Carry on,
voice
carry
down.
Not
on.
just doing this. That's all you
One
do.
hand. That's all I can do.
Yeah. So yeah, he's one of those people who is like very very confident that you will win, like no doubt. Tiffany got it. Tiffany gets it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean he's a cool guy, Chow Wei. I want to get him on the show one day. But other than that, what was your game plan going in?
The game plan was to keep it standing.
I know you had the breakdown, like the escapes, like
Yeah,
you said
yeah,
you did
yeah.
the practice. So she
Yeah.
had like a 2 video comparison, like
Yeah. of the
one
fight,
video of her practicing in training and also it happening during the fight. So it's
yeah.
On Instagram, right?
On
Yeah, I saw
Instagram,
that
so
one.
it shows
Yeah.
that I do it on purpose. It's not luck. Idiots.
Yeah. Like, I was really fortunate. Like my coaches, they analyze her fight. Like every little detail, like what takedown she likes to do, what submissions she like. Not even in MMA, like cause she competes a lot in jiu-jitsu too. So we figured that she's more of a gut player in jiu-jitsu. So we did a lot of defense for all the her favorite submissions and takedown defense, her go-to takedowns. Yeah, so the whole camp was a lot of focus on footwork. Yeah, to like don't even engage, like just get the fuck out of the way.
Do you have to
Yeah.
write all this down, or because there's like a lot of things going on? Do you have like a diary like me?
You have a diary?
For
Hang on, you can write?
Yes, yes. Other than talk, I can write.
Okay, nice.
for the wrestling part, I did have a diary on like the techniques I've learned. Yeah, because wrestling is still something I would say it's the newest combat sports to me. It's I've just kind of like started to pick it up recently. So there's still a lot for me to learn. I do have a diary for like different wrestling techniques. Yeah, but for boxing and jiu-jitsu, not so much. It's more of like muscle memory. I keep drilling and repeating.
Because I see
Yeah.
I see in her face when you escape
Uh-huh.
and when you keep it standing and
Uh-huh.
she's super tired and she's just like, what the shit? She's still up again.
Do you think she underestimated you?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure
definitely.
she did. Yeah.
And when do you think like she realized that, oh shit?
I think it kind of like fucked with her when she didn't get a submission in the first round. At the end of the round, she went for the armbar. Yeah, my arm was a bit hyperextended, but I knew that it wasn't going to break, and I knew that there's like 10-20 seconds left, and then I wasn't going to tap to that. Yeah, so
Heart of a
when-
lion.
Thanks. So when that happened, I guess it kind of made her like, oh shit, like she's not tapping to this.
Yeah, that take a
Yeah.
lot. Like I said, if
Yeah.
you fight somebody, you take away the strength. You don't let he or she do what they're good at, then they're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, write that in your diary one.
Yeah, that's what I planned.
Write it in
just
your
didn't
diary.
work,
Don't
yeah.
just say it out. Write it
Yeah,
in your diary.
okay, just to say it out there, I think Ambundan's coach commented on my Instagram post.
What do you say?
Yeah, they are watching me. So
Oh,
it means
nice.
that I mean, he said like something like, "We're ready for the challenge. We will do better next time."
Wait. He commented on a picture of you posing to box or like on this show.
Not on this show. Nobody cares about this show.
Hey,
except for you.
Bundas fans and everything, watch this show, man. Give us like 5 more
I want
views.
to do something when he's here in town to promote the fight. I want to get him here.
Yeah,
and
no
then we do.
thanks.
Why?
I don't like him. He beat up my friend.
Oh, I'm your friend now.
And I never say it's you. Right?
Yeah. So after the fight, so all was good.
Yeah, that was the game plan, the whole fight. Like, that's how me and my team thought that it's going to unfold. Like, the first round will probably be the toughest round. If I survive the first round, second and third rounds, like, we'll slowly break her down. Yeah.
and what about that kick to the face?
Yeah, it was part of the plan too.
She wobbled.
No, I mean like
Yeah.
when you delivered it and it connected, do you go
Uh-huh.
like, haha, got you now?
No, I was like, oh shit, she took it like a champ. She didn't like
She
drop
didn't
on
fall
it. Yeah.
down.
I was like, oh shit, she didn't drop. Yeah.
So you were still going out for the KO in the third.
Yeah, I
You-
was still going for it.
you-
Yeah. I felt like if it was a 5-round fight, like the 4th round I probably could have like a KO or TKO. Yeah.
Bro, your conditioning looked great.
Mhm.
Technique wise, I think you.
Don't bluff. You didn't watch the fight.
I watched the whole fight just now.
Just now?
Why do you think I'm late? I watched snippets of it when it was live, but,
Snippets, yeah, get that right.
but I watched the whole thing just now before I came here.
Liar.
So what's next for you?
I'm just gonna chill for a bit.
What?
you know.
No chill's gonna chill.
Yeah.
Where are you going to?
I'm gonna Bali tomorrow. Yeah, for a few days.
By the way, it was your birthday yesterday, so happy
yeah,
birthday.
thanks.
birthday.
Thank you.
And then what's next?
Come back, start training again and see what ONE FC is gonna offer next. Yeah.
How often do you train?
Yeah, I have a training addiction. So I feel
No chill.
yeah, so I feel really weird when I don't train. Yeah, so I'm not training now because my elbow's injured, so I can't really roll or like throw punches. Yeah, so usually like for fights, if I come out, injury free, I usually start training the following week, like, but not as intense, just to stay fresh and yeah.
Now that you have I mean this was one of the biggest wins of your career, and
Yeah, it
especially
is.
since it was in Singapore, you were all over the news and everything like that. Do you still get people coming up to you and like not believing that you are actually a pro fighter?
Some, yeah, more in the past, I would say. And there was this guy I remember when I was in Bali, this Australian guy. Like, he just talked to me randomly and he asked me like, what do I do? I was like, oh, I fight MMA. And he thought I was trolling him and he got angry. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Had to be an Australian. You Australians in
Yeah.
Bali need to calm
And
down.
he was a bit drunk too, so I was like, yeah, fuck this guy, and then just walked off.
Oh, you
I
should
was
have.
like, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Kimura?
Kimura.
Yeah. You don't know
yeah.
nothing. You don't know nothing.
You don't know.
You only do.
say
You only do
Kimura,
silat.
all that.
You only do
I really
silat.
could choke you. There,
Is
you know.
silat even a martial art? Yes, it is. Sorry, Shalaudin. It is. I respect
Yeah,
you.
by the way, Silat has a very big academy in Singapore.
Yeah, Silat had a mixed martial arts tournament also for a while.
in Malaysia, right?
In
Is it
Singapore,
One
they had it
Silat?
also. Yeah, one Silat is Singapore based or what?
I think it's based in Malaysia.
Based in
yeah.
Malaysia? Yeah, they
Yeah.
also had a
But it's,
martial arts.
it's pretty much like MMA though, even though they call it One
Yeah,
Silat.
correct. It's MMA based.
Hang on, it's got one. Any affiliations to one at all?
No,
or
I don't
Everybody wants to be
I don't
affiliated
think
with me.
so.
I don't understand why.
Okay, hang on. Wait, hold up.
One love,
You
Yeah.
say you know
one
how to
love.
talk. You say you know how to write, but obviously you don't know how to spell.
Why?
It's not 111.
Uh,
Come on, don't give the
Okay, fair
organization a bad name.
So moving on. Have you had the food that you wanted to eat?
oh yeah, too much food, man. I think
So
I gained
fast?
like
What-
5,
what's
6
the one-
kg.
What's
Since
the one
fight.
food that you crave when you're always on your
Pizza,
weight cut?
pizza.
Pizza?
I love pizza.
What kind
Okay.
of pizza?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
Thin
Yeah.
crust? Thick crust?
Yeah, I like thin crust. Yeah.
Can eat more, right?
From where?
Yeah.
From where?
I got it from at Clarke Quay, Verve Pizza.
Verve
Yeah.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Sponsor her.
Yeah, I'll be a good
So
ambassador.
during the weigh-ins, just eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it is your weight cut difficult? How much weight do you usually walk around, and
Uh,
how much do you have to cut?
when I'm doing my camp, my weight will naturally go down. I walk around like 60, 61. Yeah, so with all the hard training and all, by fight week, usually I'm like 58, 59 kg.
Okay.
So I just lose like, 1, 2 kg of water. And for one championship, they don't advocate athletes to do drastic cuts.
You
So
got the hydration test.
yeah, we have to wait for 2 days and you have to make the weight and pass the hydration for 2 days to be considered as making the weight. Yeah. So they have this special device to measure like how hydrated your pee is. Yeah. So
They are way more advanced than a lot of other people when it comes to weight
I will
cutting.
not pass the test, man.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely would not. You would starve yourself.
I'm like losing 8 kilos, 8 to 10 kilos.
oh
every time.
wow. Yeah.
But it's not drastic though. But I don't think I would be. don't
8 to
think-
10 kilos, but it's not
It's
drastic.
not drastic. I lose it
Like gradually?
yeah, gradually.
Ah,
But I
okay.
don't think
Yeah, but
my
in-
body will be hydrated at the end though.
Yeah, but like I know some UFC fighters, they do like at the end of it, like 8, 10 kg cut, just water weight, sauna,
Yeah.
water loading. That's crazy, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Let's not lose as much weight anymore. We all know what happened when you tried
Yeah,
to
maybe
lose.
when I'm going up to 57 back again.
Good.
So we're gonna be the same weight.
Yeah.
Or maybe you guys should fight. Since
I
you're
don't
always
know.
talking shit about other martial arts.
I don't wanna lose
Oh yeah, you're probably gonna
for
lose.
the next time.
Do you have anybody out there that you want to fight right now, or
Actually, I just had a post on Instagram. I was like, so I was asking my fans, my followers, who they want to see me fight next.
Angela Lee,
Yeah, it's one of the top comments, Angela Lee.
for sure.
Yeah. That's a fight that I look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Angela. Yeah, like I said, there's not a lot of girls left to fight my division.
Okay, let's say you're gonna fight Angela Lee.
Mm-hmm.
What's your plan? What would be your fight plan? What would be your fight plan?
But
Is she a striker?
Yeah, she strikes a bit, but I think grappling is her strength. Yeah, like most of her wins are via. Yeah, I think in fact almost all of her wins submissions. Yeah, like that's where she's most confident and comfortable at. Yeah, so yeah, but I guess after coming off this win with Nicolini, I felt like it gives me more confidence on my ground game too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I wouldn't. Yeah, even if it goes to the ground, I feel like I stand a pretty good chance.
Yeah, you
against
can hold
her
your
on
own
the-
like
yeah,
this.
yeah. So
Who else other than Angela Lee? The poll say.
May we? Yeah, it's
May,
another
okay.
possibility. And
Is Ann Osman still in the game or no?
no, she retired.
Yeah,
She's
she got married, retired, right?
Yeah, and she's working for one championship now. I think I think she does some of the matchmaking for the fights. Yeah. So yeah, in fact, when I first joined one championship, she was one of the few fighters that I was looking forward to like testing myself against. Yeah, because she's one of the pioneer in
Yep.
that division also. Yeah.
I'm just gonna stir the pot a bit here.
Mhm.
I'm going back to Angela Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Have you met her before?
Yeah, I met her a couple of times at events and press conferences. Yeah.
She's nice, right?
Yeah, she's
she
a
look
really
injured?
nice girl. I don't know, like fight week. She looks the same to me actually. Yeah.
I just want to ask one thing.
Uh-huh.
You're born in Singapore.
No, I was born in Brunei, but so so I was born in Brunei cause my dad and my parents, they were in Brunei. They had business there.
But your parents
my-
both are Singaporean?
My dad's Singaporean, my mom's Malaysian. Yeah, Singapore PR. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was born there, but I grew up all my life in Singapore. My kindergarten, primary, secondary, JC, uni, all in Singapore.
Okay. I guess now my question is invalid then.
Yeah. Why?
Because of being a Singaporean and being born
Mhm.
Singaporean and growing up here for a
Mhm.
very long time. When I found out that Angela Lee was, a mix of here and there,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was a bit thrown off with how they promoted her.
Mm-hmm.
And I also felt like it took the spotlight away from proper Singaporeans
Mhm.
like yourself who fight
Mhm.
in the organization. I don't know, have you ever felt like that before, like hey, maybe she's not all Singaporean, like maybe
Mm-hmm.
she's not as Singaporean as me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to a certain extent, I do feel that way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you are in that school of thought then, that
Yeah.
I mean, I firmly believe that if you are Singaporean,
Mm-hmm.
okay, here's what I think. You can be anything that you choose to be, right? But you
Mm-hmm.
gotta somehow prove to a certain extent, not just a one-off thing, that you actually are Singaporean or you are
Mm.
Malaysian or stuff like that, in
Mhm.
order for people to really truly relate to you.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like like I thought she was Singaporean, right?
Mhm.
Until I had to interview her, so I did my research on her and all that. I'm like,
I felt cheated.
yeah, I'm
I
like,
was
hang on, I think she's born in Canada,
yeah.
and then
yeah.
she's living in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
And when
I think her. I don't know.
Only her dad is Singaporean when he
Yeah.
moved out long ago.
Yeah.
yeah, but the thing is, how much time does she spend here?
She said once every year since before, but I doubt so.
Yeah, but I mean, does
You know, when you all are talking about like trash talk and all that, pretending to be Singaporean and trash talking is the same. It's just a
really?
different kind of
Different tools.
evil. It's just marketing.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still a great job. I mean, the whole Singaporean and the whole crowd is like Singapore,
Mhm.
Singapore. I'm like, what the hell? It's not.
Yeah,
It's got nothing to do with Singapore, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, for people who don't know, people like me once, we would
Yeah.
think that it's cool that she's Singaporean and all that.
Mhm.
Now, I don't see anything bad about it, because at the end of the day, her being marketed as Singaporean brought a lot of spotlight onto Singapore and won championship, and we have Singapore has an MMA world champ,
Mhm.
which is cool, for
Yep,
us.
fair enough.
I guess, but I guess at the end of the day, like, it'll be really interesting to see who people would root for if we have somebody like you taking on.
Yeah, I've always wondered like if I'll be like I'll be an underdog in my country when I fight
Yes,
her.
but-
Yeah,
I'll be
yes,
like,
I was
what,
just
guys?
gonna say that. I was just gonna
I'll be
say
like,
that.
that-
How
I'll be like, that doesn't make
Singaporeans
sense.
choose? And
Yeah.
and how will the media actually
Portray,
take it? Like,
right?
will
Yeah.
the media really say that, she's this and that,
Mhm.
and you are actually this and this, or will they just take it at face value? I guess, from my experience in working with the media, you kind of have to really, juggle the line and stuff like
Mhm.
that. You want to be nice to the promoters
Yep.
to get invited to the next one
Yeah,
again,
next
and at
event
the
and
same
all.
time
Yeah, it's a fine line.
you also want to
Yeah.
tell the truth, right?
Yeah.
So
But the thing about social media now is we can rely on the couch people, the couch
Mhm.
coaches, the couch potatoes to do the fighting for us.
Yeah.
Because now people are a bit more educated. They are saying it. What are they saying? Why are they holding the flag? Why are they doing this? Why doing that?
Yeah.
It's like they just saying what I wanted to say, and it's just, they're doing the job for me. I think people are now more educated. More
Yeah.
people make an effort to know what's going
Yeah,
on.
and it's easy to find out information.
Yeah.
Just Google and you get all the information you
but
need.
you're still gonna be the underdog.
unfortunately, I have a feeling that you still
Yeah, I
might
know,
be.
right?
But I mean, if you're gonna fight her, it's probably for the title, right? So
I don't know, cause now she's not the title holder for my division.
okay,
Currently, it's Shon Nan. Yeah, so she was supposed to
we'll
fight her.
yeah.
Yeah, but due to her injury, so she pulled out. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen next. Whether the fight is still gonna happen or it's gonna be called
So
off.
she's fought once since the car crash, right?
Yeah, she fought Mei Yamaguchi once after that crash.
There was the
yeah.
refight, the rematch.
The rematch. Yeah,
I got a feeling this is how it's going to be. They're gonna
Oh,
get.
here we go.
Uh,
Conspiracy theories by
No,
one.
I'm just thinking because in the marketing point of view,
Uh-huh.
they're not gonna let Angela Lee fight for the title first in
Mhm.
this weight class. They're gonna
Mm.
somehow get you to fight because
Mhm.
they're gonna ride on you winning Michelle,
Mhm.
then get you to win the belt first, and they're gonna try to
Mhm.
get Angela Lee to get the belt back. I
So
think
it'll
so.
be like
I think that's
it makes
from,
sense, right?
Yeah, from
Singapore
an audience, from a
versus,
spectator point of view, I would say, oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good storyline,
yeah,
and
slowly hype up
another
the fight.
Singaporean will
Yeah.
still win the belt anyway. And it's Angela Lee.
Yeah, like either way they win.
If
It's
I'm the
like,
promoter, I would do it like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're not.
Either
the
way, it's a
promoter.
Singapore champ.
Yeah, it will
Yeah.
sell. Yeah, it will
Yeah,
sell.
yeah.
Does it make a lot of difference? Do you get extra money when you're the champ?
Yeah, for sure. That's the whole point, right?
Well,
Depends on the number of followers on Instagram.
well, I asked because my friend, right, he like champ of multiple belts, but like no money, only still that guy.
Yeah.
Although he's wearing a
Uh,
very expensive watch today for some reason. So do you guys? I mean, I think
Wait, before you continue, is the pay quite good, justifiable? You don't have to tell them. Is it justifiable?
yeah, that's justifiable. But different fighters they have like I think that's what I think like. I think it depends on your experience, the number of fights you have. So it varies.
Well, you know how much your
different-
opponent is getting or no?
No, unless
It's a mega big event.
unless your opponent misses weight, because if they miss weight, you'll get 20%
Yeah.
of their purse. So from there you can
Yeah, you can
do your own math.
calculate, which you cannot.
Yeah.
but
Suck.
like the UFC, they will just
Yeah, I mean boxing also. If they will say, oh,
Mhm.
you're gonna
It
get
was-
this amount, you're gonna get this amount.
yeah, they will let the media like, okay, this is.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess the fact that I personally have never heard of anyone complaining about pay from
Mhm.
ONE FC. I guess they've been paying you guys quite
Yeah,
well.
yeah, treating the
quite good.
fighters
I mean,
pretty
you are
well.
a full-time fighter now.
Mhm.
You don't do anything else.
I
Right?
I still do. I teach yoga and all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but
for,
that's
for
more of a-
fun.
Not really, cause it's like I only paid when I fight.
Mm-hmm.
So like especially after I've been taking a long break from fighting. So in between I do need to do something to like sustain.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, so
So-
you guys are kind of similar in that sense then.
Yeah, in a way, I think fighting is always temporary. You cannot rely
Yeah.
on fight income unless you're like Canelo, Alvarez, you get
Yeah.
$365 million.
Yeah, big fights.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But are you like sponsored by a company or an organization that gives you money?
For now, mostly it's just products.
If it's going to happen, let's say company ABC wants to sponsor you, give you money,
Mm-hmm.
do they have to go through a management or they can just get to you straight?
They can contact me directly.
Yeah, so contact her. We got a local talent. Please
Yay.
support.
Yeah, show
Tiffany,
some
no
love.
chill. Show some love.
The pizza place, what's it called?
Birth Pizza.
Get in touch, guys.
Pizza is good, but money is
Money,
better.
yeah, yeah, it's true.
We just buy more pizzas with the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like you guys are, and I'm speaking about to both of you. You guys are already considered so-called international stars because both of you guys appear in events which are shown all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one championship, and you headline your own show. But it's kind of honestly from an outsider point of view and a journalist point of view, it's kind of sad to a certain extent that our athletes are not fully compensated to an extent, that you guys still have
Yeah.
to take other jobs. I think it
Mhm.
breaks my heart because when the fight comes, everybody would go like, yeah, we're rooting for you and blah 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 blah, and we all know how much you guys put into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the moment the fight finishes and the dust has settled, everything just goes away and you guys still need to bust your ass to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a bit that I think there's a problem here that should be addressed by the richer powers that be, that maybe somebody out there would feel like me, where I think that if you guys are compensated better to a certain extent, you guys get to focus more on your craft instead of
Mm-hmm.
teaching yoga or like one having to take classes and all
Mhm.
that. Then the sky's the limit for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more focus on yeah, for sure that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's just sad, and especially in the fight game where you guys
Mhm.
put your bodies on the line like almost every 3 months, every 4 months and
Mhm.
stuff like that, and then maybe you guys fight and you guys can last another 2 months, and then the other 2 months you guys have to hustle, which is
Mm-hmm.
like I said, international stars now. Almost everybody who is a fight fan in the world knows who you are and who he is.
But I think it happens everywhere. It's not just
Yeah,
here.
that's true.
That's the
Even in
thing.
the
So for me
States.
I mean, I cannot bring myself to the point where I say, you know what, I'm fighting for the country. I'm sacrificing so much.
Mhm.
So I deserve all the money that you have. That I deserve to be sponsored. I cannot say that openly. That for
You
me,
just did.
I sort of just did, but at the end of the day, I cannot like say whatever I do is like very very important. Whatever you all do are not important. For me, the money, if I have, is a bonus. I mean,
Mhm.
I do have support from NTUC and from some of the government organizations where they get me to run some campaigns, so that helped me a lot, especially NTUC Fair Price. But other than that, I think it's a tricky thing. It's a because other stars from other countries are also struggling. I think the least that I will ask for is for people to want to find out what we are doing. Like just show up, and just buy the $35 ticket. Just
Support.
put your ass there. So the big guys, the sponsors will see. There's a reason for us to support these athletes. I'm not asking you to give me $1,000. Just spend $35, get a ticket. Then all of us fighters can do something with it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think the support is really important to a lot of fighters. Yeah.
So more, I mean, but it's so often now that one championship shows are sold out. I mean, the crowds are crazy.
Yeah, the last event.
Yeah, I was seeing like, it's grown so much. It's MMA has grown so much.
Yeah, it
in
has,
the world right
yeah.
now. Even though Ridhwan still thinks boxing is number one.
I don't.
Yeah, you always shit on every other martial
I don't think
arts.
boxing is number one. I just think I am number one, but apparently not.
So when you're gonna
Yeah,
You are number
when are you
one.
going to transit to MMA?
Never. I don't. think
Never.
Have you seen the legs he has? He has chicken legs.
No, it's huge. I think all the weight
Camera
that I have
tricks.
comes from the legs and the butt.
The butt is a Malay thing.
It's a Malay thing.
Bunta Melayu.
Yeah, looking at yours, yeah, for sure.
What else do you do outside of training?
Yeah, other than fighting,
Yeah.
fighting's boring.
Yoga. Yeah, and before I started fighting, I travel a lot.
Mhm.
But after I started, I don't travel as much, and I do miss that. So I don't know. Hopefully, I can take a long break sometime and just go
Where
travel.
would you want to go for your next break?
I don't know, maybe Europe or US.
You're not gonna go there and train, right?
I'll probably end up
Should probably
training.
be.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
anybody, any MMA fighters who you look up to right now, or
A lot actually.
name yourself?
GSP.
Mm.
What's that guy's name? Shit, I forgot his name.
You don't really like it.
So much for being idolized.
Yeah, a lot, man. A lot.
So okay, Khabib might fight GSP, right? That's
Oh
what
yeah,
it is.
Khabib. Yeah, I love Khabib too.
Who do you think
yeah.
would win?
But I love both of them. So.
In terms of skill, I think GSP.
Inshallah,
Yeah,
Habib.
skills wise.
Habib number one.
Oh, now you're
Yeah.
Muslim.
Inshallah, Habib.
Only now.
Yeah.
It's a fun fight. I think both of them are quite.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting fight to watch.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm actually more interested in seeing Ben Askren fight in the UFC.
Yeah, there's a good
Yeah,
one.
I
Your
think
ex-colleague.
Ben Askren is always trash talking, but only in one FC is like being taken down.
yeah.
So once he's out, he's just like, you see his Twitter, he's like going crazy
Yeah.
now. And the UFC people,
And I feel
Americans
like-
love it so much.
Yeah, it's a difference in the cultures also. Like I've talked to some fighters who, after they got signed to one, it's like they want to trash talk, but they kind of like they don't really know how the Asian crowd will react to it because it's a different culture at the end of the day, you know, Western versus Asian. So I think that makes them a bit hesitant also.
But the funny
Yeah.
thing, the Asians, like, okay, I don't know about the other countries,
Mhm.
but like Singaporeans, they're always talking about, oh, why this fighter so cocky and all that. But they are still watching it, they're still idolizing
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
You see Muhammad Ali. But for me, like I said so many times, you can, I won't say trash talk. For me, it's just about having fun. Just go out there as long as you don't make
Mhm.
fun of the family, don't make fun of religion, politics. I think it's still okay. Other than that, it's just entertainment. And the fighter should know. The fighter
Yeah,
would
yeah.
know.
If you're in the business, you should know
Yeah.
so for the show.
At the end of the day, the reason they all know Muhammad Ali, Conor McGregor is because of their mouths and their skill.
I guess, but I mean, back to your point about other fighters coming in and wanting to trash talk, but they don't know how the crowd might take it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also a language thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you
Yeah.
trash talk, and then a translator has to come in and like,
Cakap apa, sial?
dia cakap awak ni tak bagus. Then by that time, like people like what? Like they just don't get it. I think
Correct.
that's why the Asian market is so unique in a sense where there's so many different challenges.
Mhm.
You know, one organization can just come here and do things that will satisfy
that works in
all the
Mhm.
countries here because people are speaking different
Yeah.
languages
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff
true.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, English Premier League football did not get popular overnight. It took years and years and years. And luckily, there's no talking in football, right? So you can
The scandals and like
to
bar
understand
fights.
the sport, you just need to watch it, and then you can have commentary from different languages.
Mhm.
But like I said, like the art of the fight game is that there's the weigh-ins, there's the trash
Yeah.
talk and all that. There's
Yeah.
the lead up. So that
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure something gets lost in
In translation. Yeah,
translation.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I watched the first one championship that I went to, and Marvin Manhoff, he's known as a KO artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and he has this trademark thing where he always goes out to like Europe trance techno music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like his thing, right? I mean, people, if he does that in Europe where he's known, or in the US, people are like, oh, this is Marvin Manhouse. No, let's get hype and stuff like that. The moment he came out to that music in Singapore, everybody just laughed. It's like, wow, this is Abeng. You know what I mean? I can hear people saying, wow, this is Abeng. And then they had one championship also had was it
funny.
is it Lenny Hart, the announcer?
Yeah, Lenny Hart.
So,
the Pride
I grew up
days.
watching Pride, right?
Yeah.
And I love her so much, you know what I mean?
She's the one with that voice.
From Russia.
Yeah.
With love.
Yeah.
Like Fedor and all that. So like when I hear that, I always relate it to Pride. And then when they finally got her, I was like, whoa, the shit just got real. No, she's announcing like
reminds you of the old fights and all.
the old fights in Japan and all that. And then there's some guy behind me is like, wow, this auntie them noisy. Why did I talk like this? Then I was like,
that was my reaction also actually, first time.
yeah, I mean she's unique in that sense.
Yeah, after a while then I understand. But where is she from?
US, right?
I'm not sure where she's from, but she used to work for the Old Pride Days, right?
Yeah,
the announcer.
Old Pride Days.
So
She's
is
not
she
there
always
anymore.
doing that? Like in almost all the one I see.
Yeah.
Wow, her voice
She
is
started
got
in
a-
Pride. That's
Yeah,
when
from
she.
Pride then to one. Yeah.
It was. Are you a friend of Pride?
Yeah, I do watch some of the fights there.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
but I only started that's the thing. Like, I only started watching more MMA after I started doing. I wasn't like a fight fan, and then I started doing MMA.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the thing for me. Like, after I started doing MMA, I went to like look at all the old fights and all. Yeah, I
But
didn't.
you're not kind of like a fight geek or anything.
No,
like,
no,
oh,
no.
on this date I know this is.
No. I didn't grow up watching all these fights. It's
Do
like,
you find yourself studying fights these days when you watch them, or?
Yeah, I'm more of studying the techniques and all.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you like just sit down and enjoy a fight? People bashing each other up rather than just being like too technical. Oh, should have done this, should have done that. I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah, I'll kind of
You
like
can?
analyze a bit.
Or you
yeah.
cannot just sit down and enjoy it. It's a bit hard, right?
Yeah, it's a bit
You have
hard.
to try to enjoy a fight now.
Yeah.
Well, I can always
Yeah.
enjoy a fight. I don't have the problem you two have.
Because you never fight.
I'm like, whoa!
You fight for
wait,
nothing.
what?
Yeah.
Like you guys will be like, oh, that
Yeah.
guy could have.
Yeah, I could have done this, could have done that.
I was
Like,
like,
that was a
ugh.
bad
it's
escape.
quite
that
tiring,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Let's not
Yeah.
watch an MMA fight together. I'll be like, no, stop, annoying. I just want to watch the fight. Blood, yes.
So have you been broke for a while?
Broke for a bit after I left my job as a part-time therapist. Yeah, so it's surviving on my savings for a bit. Yeah, and I think that was partly the reason why there was this period when I was doing like back-to-back fights in one championship. I think I took like 3 or 4 fights in a year. Yeah, because I needed that. But I'm very grateful for my parents because at first they really hate that I'm doing this,
Yep.
but now they're really supportive.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they will help me out for a bit.
Did they come
Yeah.
for this last fight?
Oh, the last fight they did. Even the one in Jakarta they did too.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you break it to your parents that you wanted to be a pro fighter?
I kind of like I didn't even tell them actually until it happened. Yeah, so I had my first fight in one championship. When I was fighting in Singapore Fighting Championship, they didn't know that it was like a professional thing yet. Yeah, even back then I was still a bit hesitant. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it like long term. I was like just giving it a try. It was only when I got signed to one championship I was like, okay, shit's getting real now. I got to like focus and get my shit together. Yeah, so when it first happened in Singapore Fighting Championship, they thought it was like another regular amateur boxing fight. Yeah. So it was I don't think they went for my first one championship fight. Yeah, but when they found out that I'm doing this professionally, they were quite pissed. Yeah, they were like,
Well,
Chill,
who-
mom. Chill,
hang
dad.
on.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be like?
Yeah.
You graduated.
yeah, my
from-
mom was like, you have a freaking psychology degree and now you're doing something like you
Like,
know
I'll
you
be
don't even
pissed.
need a degree for that.
Then why did I
Yeah.
spend all this money on
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
Normal,
So
typical Singaporean
yeah,
parents.
very very
But
typical.
it's always
and-
something that you can go back to, right?
yeah, it's always
Yeah, probably
something.
you want to go back to.
Yeah, but I guess I would do more like sports psychology rather
Yeah.
than developmental or
I think
child
there's something that we are
psychology.
lacking here in Singapore.
Yeah, it
sports
is. It
psychology.
is. Yeah.
I think what we're lacking is not sports psychology, but somebody who actually has been through it and is known
Mhm.
and is relatable.
Mhm.
Like if you guys were to go into it, I think the industry would develop a lot better because you guys have actually, like, your words will be
On
more
both ends of it, right?
yeah, your words will be more credible
Mm-hmm.
to somebody who wants to learn it, other than like somebody from outside who you've never seen them in action before and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, how did your parents? I'm back to your parents. How do you get your parents to turn around then?
I guess the turning point was
You
my
won and showed them the check.
yeah, that part. But even then, they were still quite pissed. Even after I won, they were hoping that after a few more wins I would just be done with it. So I think the real turning point was my loss against Sean Jingnan.
I was just gonna ask you. So did they say like you should go back there and get back that win, or?
Yeah, they were super supportive. It was crazy.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they were like, just do what you have to, like train hard, and they'll support me in whichever ways they can.
And
Yeah.
and how do you react to that?
Yeah, I was like, cause I was still recovering from my injuries and all. They told me to like just go Thailand wherever you need to get your training in.
Wow.
So I was like, calm down, guys.
Chill, guys.
Like, let me recover first.
So now I see where the no chill comes from. It's your parents.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was like, yeah, just go Thailand, stay there for like a few months.
Did they watch? Were they there to watch? The
Yeah, my dad was there. My dad and my brother was there. My mom had to look after my nephew, so she didn't come. Yeah, so my dad, he was like sitting at the back row, but he was shouting so loud. The
You could
people,
hear him?
I couldn't hear him, but the people on the VIP, like right in front, they could hear him. Yeah, it was quite crazy. Yeah,
Fathers, I tell you.
yeah.
Do you remember if he was wearing white?
I think he was wearing dark green, if I'm not
Dark
wrong.
green.
Yeah.
Why? Why the question?
Why
Because I
white?
was there.
Oh, you were in Jakarta?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Hang on,
Wow.
you were in Jakarta.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Jakarta?
nice.
Watch fights Why can't travel, man?
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. It was crazy, right? The crowd, I heard.
Of course,
Yeah.
like I said, the culture, different countries have different culture.
Yeah.
And they just went crazy lah. They
Yeah.
don't even know what they're shouting also. They just shout. Everyone, I shout, you shout, we shout lah. Everybody shout. That's the
Yeah.
They
fun
probably
thing.
see like her name and then the flag is like very similar.
Similar, I
to theirs.
thought, yeah.
So from far away, the screen is like,
Yeah.
hey, Indonesia,
It's local, it's
Indonesia!
local. Yeah.
Same, Indonesia, Malaysia, all same lah. Only take different boat, go different place.
How do you take that loss?
I was pretty depressed for a bit, to be honest. It was my first loss, and yeah, I was like all beaten up, and I had a few injuries after. I had a really bad cauliflower ear. So during the fight, I already had it before the fight, but during the fight it blew up. So if you look at the photos, you could see my right ear was like blown up, all swollen, and I had to do a few surgery on my eyes, my retina. So I had a few holes after that fight. So I had to do laser to seal it up, and yeah, it was more of the recovery.
So
like,
the
it took
medical,
a
who
while.
covered it?
One championship they covered. They
Oh,
did a really
nice, one
good job.
championship,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, they really take good care of their athletes. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
And you know what did you tell yourself to get up and start training again after that loss?
Honestly, after the loss, at first I was like, you know what, I'm fucking done with this shit.
Are you like sad or like depressed? Like you want to lock yourself out, or you just sad but you know you're gonna make a comeback?
Yeah, I was just like letting myself wallow in self pity for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think deep down I knew that the comeback, I'll make a comeback.
So you always
Yeah.
knew that you wanted to come.
Yeah, I knew that I can't just let the chapter end here. Yeah. So after I recovered, like a good 3 months, started training again and slowly, and I kept asking for feedbacks, like from this fight, what should I work on? My ground, why wasn't I able to control on the ground? And I asked a lot of questions. I asked my coaches how I should train, what things I should work on, and I'm really fortunate to have like people, Major Overall, my teammates, they were all really helpful. Like, even though I didn't have any fights lined up, they were all like willing to put in the time to help me to improve. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key. When you're off season and you still have a genuine team of people who want to push you, want to make you grow. I think that's what makes that's what make fighters grow. So I think a lot of fighters, even in boxing, they just I'm not saying majority, but I think most, maybe many people just train when they have a fight coming up.
Yeah.
Like 3 months, then they just train. Then after
Mhm.
that, they just get really, really overweight, like
Yeah.
20, 30 kilos. Then you gotta fight, and they just go down.
Yeah.
It's quite crazy.
Yeah, I feel like most of the like improvement and growth is made during your off season. That's when you can
Yep.
explore new stuff. You don't
Mm.
have to like just work on a specific game plan.
Yeah, so you make
Yeah.
mistakes during the training, not
Yeah.
during the fight.
Yeah.
But I also do think that during the off season, you guys should actually get proper rest and try to be normal human beings.
Yeah, we are. We just rest. I think we are training, just that not as intense. I think,
Yeah.
and maybe like once a day or.
And the focus is a bit different
Yep,
than
it's like
from a
something
fight
specific.
camp. Yeah.
It's like you're going to Bali, you're gonna enjoy yourself
Yeah.
in Bali and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I know this guy who just lost recently, and he's back at it already. He hasn't gone on a holiday, no nothing, to ease his mind. And
It's
stuff like
good to
that.
have the fire in you too.
Yeah, but there's also like you can get burnt, right?
I just need a break from your face. That's all I need. So I'm going away.
Okay. We just started this thing. You don't have to be burnt out already. It just shows what kind of quitter you are.
Wow.
Look, she had her arm hyperextended and she didn't tap. And you see my face, only you want to tap.
God, he's that bad. That's why
it's
he's
not,
that bad.
It's not that bad.
If it is Michelle choking me, it's a different story.
You let her
Yeah,
choke,
it's a
right?
different story because you'll be happy. Have you ever thought
Yeah.
of training overseas? Going to another
Bali
camp?
MMA, right?
Yeah, I did a short camp at Bali MMA once, but now Xiong Jingnan, she's training there, so I don't think I will be
Who?
going. Xiong Jingnan.
Oh, she's training.
Yeah,
there.
she's based in Bali.
Is there a
MMA
talk
now.
of a rematch already or not?
I believe it's coming soon. Maybe even the next fight, or like maybe after 1 or 2 more wins. I
If it's the
believe
next fight,
in-
will you take it or no again?
Probably not. I feel like I have to earn the shot again.
How to earn it? I mean,
yeah, like, I
I
feel
thought
like-
you like sort of earn it by beating Michelle.
Yeah, but it's like I'm just looking at how other divisions played out. Like when May had her rematch against Angela, I think she had like 2 or 3 more wins before
Mhm.
she got that title shot again. So I feel like it's only fair for me to do so. And I feel like a lot of fighters, if you're entitled, to get
Mhm.
like the title shot, like they fight a few newcomers and they're like, oh, I want after 2 wins, I want a title shot next. Yeah, so I feel like I should earn the title shot.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at things.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think I really like this approach from you because it's an approach that you started way before you even turn pro, you even
Mhm.
join one championship, right?
Mhm.
You will really analyze it and then you play by your own rules,
Mhm.
basically. Like if I'm not ready, I'm not ready. One championship can come back another time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
sometimes you don't see that often from fighters because
Mhm.
a lot of fighters are known to be very emotionally driven, irrational people.
Mhm.
You give them that opportunity, they'll take it. They are fighters after
Yeah,
all,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just look at this guy. The moment he had a chance for a rematch, he hop on it, and then just now he said he might regret it, right? Yeah, but where do you think that do you think that came from your background in psychology, that you are slowly easing yourself into it, or
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe more of my personality, I guess. Like slowly adapt to stuff and yeah.
which is the
get-
total opposite of your fight name then?
yeah. I feel like I'm just a different person in the cage when I fight. Yeah.
Bipolar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the approach. Maybe you should learn the approach. Take things slowly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but for me, it's like I don't. I just keep thinking age is one thing, and for me, if you want to fight the best, you just gotta fight the best. And I'm at the stage where he wants to fight. It's not like I'm chasing him.
Mhm.
I mean, I just said I want to fight in March. I don't need. A lot of people are saying that I should get like warm up fights and whatever,
Mhm.
which is probably gonna be good, but it's just gonna give me like some fake confidence that I'm there. And whatever this Paulus, the loss to Paulus is gonna be like bugging me anyway. I didn't expect to be fighting him, to be honest. I
Mhm.
thought it was gonna be some Mexican or some other dude. Then he said no, Paulus wants to fight you, and he's agreed to come out to featherweight. Yeah, okay, why not? I'm not gonna run away and say, oh maybe I deserve the loss. I'm not gonna win you this time. So I made a compromise. I went down to his weight. Now he's coming up. I'll win the second one. Then we can fight for the third time. 5 years later.
5
Then I will
years
take her strategy and say no. Let's wait.
5 years later, a bit too late for you.
Yeah,
know?
but for me now the opportunity presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
We're not chasing each other, so the paths lead to this. The WBC. I mean, we're working towards something like the WBC is gonna sanction this or something. So I mean, it's there for the taking. So just do it.
Do you think that this all? I mean, you've wet your feet in the boxing world before. Do you think all this WBC, WBA, IBO, UFO?
Honestly, I'm like really confused with all this.
Yeah, it's confusing, right?
Yeah,
Like, at least
I'm
for
quite
like
confused
MMA, you
also.
have UFC, one championship, Bellator.
Bellator.
That's it.
Yeah, correct. The
Yeah.
it's just the organization champion, right? For boxing, you have the sanctioning body. Then you have different
Yeah.
promoters.
Yeah.
Then some don't even have promoters. Some is just like some underdog from somewhere.
Yeah.
take and then
Yeah,
they
it's pretty
won.
confusing. Like I'm still like trying to figure that out.
Do you do a lot of media work before a fight?
During fight week, yes.
Does it
Yeah,
get
it's
tiring?
it's super draining because I also be cutting weight during.
You're
Yeah.
super annoyed. Also.
Yeah, so yeah, it sucks, but it's part of the game. You have to do it.
But
you
do
have to
you-
sell fights.
Do you be
Yeah.
are you always like nicer to local reporters as compared to like
Nah, not really. Depends on the reporter. Yeah, like how they approach me, and if they are nice, I'll be nice. If they're trying.
have you ever been like
Yeah, are they unpleasant
yeah,
reporters?
have you ever been
Because I have
So-
faced some.
Oh really?
Yeah, they are like, oh, Ridhwan, you did a good job. You should have won. Then the next day I read the papers. Oh, Ridhwan did very bad. What the hell, man?
No, I've met one. He's a local reporter. So he.
Name.
Name
name him, let's
He's
shame
he's from China News Asia, but I forgot his name. Yeah, so it was during the title when I was preparing for my title fight. Yeah, it was post fight, and yeah, he just wrote some information that I didn't say, and it caused a bit of tension between me and my home team. So yeah,
Right,
and it was
okay.
like it was really bad because I came off a loss, and I was like dealing with my own shit, and I wasn't even reading all this article until a friend told me, and I was like, I didn't even say shit like this. Yeah.
You see, this is why it's very important for when you get more and more famous
Mm-hmm.
for you to have somebody there with you whenever you do interviews like this and
Yeah.
actually have their own recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Formula One does this a lot.
But what can they do? I mean, the news is out. So what? For example, I'm her manager.
Sue.
Let's say. Huh? What?
Sue.
What sue?
Lawsuit.
Sue them.
Lawsuit.
Sue them. Oh,
Yeah.
so you just get money out of it.
Oh, it's not that you used to get money, but the thing is, you will eventually get to expose the truth, right?
Yeah,
Because
but
at
people
the end
don't
of
really care about the truth. People just
Yeah,
read
but
the
you-
first time, then after that, whatever
but then
comes
again,
after, they don't really care.
Being a journalist myself, I also think that there is standard practices, and one of the things that you should never do is you should never put words in somebody else's mouth,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's like her case. It costs
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pissed, man.
yeah, it caused trouble
Yeah.
with her other side of things, and this guy would
Yeah.
just roll around and do
Yeah.
another story, right? And
Yeah.
who knows what other things he add in, and it's just these kind of people give journalists and reporters and people in the media industry a bad name.
Yeah. So stop doing that. So did you get to do you get to speak to him after that?
Yeah, I messaged him. I have his WhatsApp. I messaged him.
Was it a
and-
nice message or was it a no chill message?
Oh, yeah, it was a no chill message. I was
Oop.
like, what the hell is this, man? Like, and I was like all emotional after the fight too.
Mm.
And I heard about that. And then and he just replied like he didn't even care. He was like, oh sorry, and like no explanation, no
Yeah.
nothing. I was like, what the fuck?
At the end of the, no, you see, at the end of the day, it's
I mean, if he was sincerely like, he
Yeah.
apologized and all, I'll be like, okay. I
He'll-
might feel bad for sending a message, but he was like,
it's
he
a
didn't
lose,
care.
it's a lose
Yeah.
lose for her
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he could have just turned around and used whatever you message.
And like
Him,
another,
and then
yeah,
put it out there.
Yeah, true.
So
It's
Did you
no
see him
win.
after this? Like,
No, after that I told like, cause I think one championship arranged for this reporter.
Mhm.
So I told them like, I'm not gonna do any more interviews with this guy. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Just told
Serves him
them,
right.
yeah.
you always got to. I mean, you've had
Yeah,
some
protect yourself at all times.
nasty nasty interviews also, right?
Yeah, quite a few.
I think at the end of the day, I think people from the other side of the table, people from the media,
Mm-hmm.
should really try to put themselves in the athlete shoes. Even though
Yeah.
even though we've never had that kind of experience
Mhm.
before, I think you just take it a common sense, if someone's cutting weight or someone's been doing a lot of media,
Yeah, it's
you
tiring.
you want to keep it
tiring.
short.
Yeah.
You want to just go straight to the point,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, they interview for you for maybe 10 minutes, but trust me, I've been doing this for 8 years. At the end of the day, they take out 3 seconds out of it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the only 3 seconds
Yeah.
they use, right? And stuff like that. That's why it's always, I believe that when I do interviews, I have to really read the room
Mm-hmm.
and see what that person is feeling and stuff like that. Do my research and
Mhm.
then actually see what kind of mood they're in to actually,
Yeah.
like, if I had like a lot of fun questions, then if they're in a good mood, then I'll put it
Yeah.
out. If not, then you're there to do a job.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there to sensationalize anything, because whatever you're reporting on, the fact that you're there to interview that person, that means that person is already going to do something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to add your own mix. At the end of the day, the truth is what people would appreciate more
Mm-hmm.
than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and Ridhwan did a lot of media work
Mhm.
before his last fight, and
It's draining, man.
It's draining, but I feel like
it's something you have to do at the
yeah,
same
something I
time
have to do.
promote the
A lot of
film.
people say
Yeah.
I understand where people are coming from. Like people say I need the rest and all that, but as much as they see me as the most popular fighter in the world, I'm not.
nobody said you are the most.
You are.
I never said you were the most.
Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit,
A
but
lot.
A lot.
so they feel like I'm the number one or whatever. But the thing is, boxing is still a sport that is growing, and we need as much exposure as we can. So that's why I just have to agree and do the videos, do the interviews. There's so many of them. 3 a.m. at the top of MBS swimming. That's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, I saw the post.
So, but
Yeah.
it's part of the job. I mean, the sponsors
It
are
was
paying.
fight week, right?
It was fight week.
Yeah,
it
that
was, It was
sucks.
crazy. But now the fight is going to sell itself. Apparently, me losing is sort of like a blessing, even though I hate that loss. So people want to see the rematch again. So I don't have to do as much, I think. And I will be disappearing for a bit for this fight.
For the media.
I don't know, I'll be away for months, I think.
Anybody want to get in touch with him? Go through me. I know where he is.
He doesn't know shit.
Now, what's you've gone on this journey, this MMA journey right now. You've gone through the lows with your loss, and then now you came back with a win. What's the end game here?
The end game. I still see myself fighting in competing in MMA for another 5-6 years.
Right.
Till I'm in my mid or late 30s. Yeah, but even after I stopped competing in MMA, I see myself venturing into jiu-jitsu. Yeah, like more of like no-gi, submission grappling. Yeah, so
Planning to go to the Masters category or something.
one more year I'm in the Masters.
Really?
Is there
Yeah.
a Masters category for Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I think 30 years old, Masters.
30 years of
Yeah.
Well,
Masters?
30
Yeah.
years old is Masters in Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You
damn.
should
Yeah.
start it. I
I'm
mean,
a
not because
master.
you're a master,
I'm
but
a master now.
Yeah.
What belt are you?
Blue.
Nice.
Blue belt. Yeah.
who decides the color, or like who decides to like?
The coach, like for my case major.
Mm.
Yeah, so because everyone we progress at a different rate. So some of them they learn fast, some learn slow, and sometimes you just hit a plateau, you just take a while to like move on to the next stage.
So
So
is
it
there like a
varies.
guideline for them to follow and
a
before they
very
develop?
rough guideline, so
rough
for
guideline, right? Just like based on feel or something like that.
no, like as a white belt, there are certain things that you should know as a white belt, and as a blue belt, there are certain things that you should know as a blue belt. So if you meet like those criterias, it's like means you're ready for the next belts. Like for white belts, it's like you gotta get good at defending, like knowing how to escape bad
Fair enough.
positions and stuff. Yeah.
Do you in Singapore, do you still get whipped by the belt when you get promoted?
It depends on the schools. At Highlight Row, they do. Yeah.
How was your whipping?
I was really fortunate because when I got promoted to blue belt, I was still with Juggernaut.
Right.
And Major, he left Juggernaut then, and it was a different coach, Luke Adams. Yeah, so he's not into this whipping thing. So I was really fortunate I didn't get whipped. Yeah,
I see some guys like
bruises on their back and all,
it's
right?
somehow it's
Yeah.
always on my Instagram feed.
Yeah.
Like they're like
Yeah.
they go through.
You love kinky stuff.
No,
man.
the one that
All
the one that I
whipping.
saw that was most painful. Who's that guy who is Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy? Bautista? Is it Bautista?
Yes,
the wrestler.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a jiu-jitsu practitioner as well.
Oh, he's a huge guy.
He almost went to MMA, but I
Oh,
think he
nice.
was
Yep.
too old. So I think he got, I don't know what belt he got promoted, and dude, people just whip
crazy,
the
right?
shit
Yeah.
out of him, man.
Oh man, if he gives
Yeah.
his revenge, he will die.
Yeah, I think if he was to whip someone,
Yeah.
someone would probably die.
Yeah, I
Now,
always keep promotion, man. Like,
yeah.
yeah. I
Just
was
mail
like-
me the belt.
Now, Tiffany, before we wrap things up,
Uh-huh.
very important question.
Mhm.
You know, it's MMA has surely grown in Singapore
Yeah,
over
a
the
lot.
last few years.
Mhm.
You know, with you, Angela Lee, and also May.
Yeah,
May.
May.
Me.
Yeah.
There's 3 Singaporean females in
Mhm.
one of in the biggest MMA organization in Asia right
Mhm.
now, right? If you know anyone, which I'm sure there are people out there who looks up to you,
Mhm.
little kids and
Yeah.
girls and stuff like that. Like, what kind of advice would you give them if they said that, you know, they set their mind and they want to be like you one day?
Mm. Don't do it, man.
Okay, this is not
Same
gonna make
advice.
our motivational reel.
It's a really tough journey, I would say, and it's like there's no fix there's like no fixed journey. It's a wild card. You know, it's not like you do this, you get to like point B. It's like you can like get to point B and then you go back to point A and then you get to like you think it's nearing the end and then you lose one fight, bam, yeah, like all the way. Yeah, so it has been a crazy ride so far. But I guess if you really want to do it, like uh just I think you have to know at the end of the day what you want and don't lose sight of that goal. And it's not gonna be an easy journey for sure. You're there'll be a lot of obstacles along the way. But I believe that if you don't lose sight of the end goal, yeah, you'll get there eventually. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
One, any parting questions before she jets off to Bali?
Not really, but okay. When do
Uh-huh.
you know it's time to stop?
Uh
I think every fighter is
yeah,
sort of afraid of that.
Yeah, I guess when you no longer have the fire in you, like the thirst to compete, I guess that's when you know. Yeah, I haven't had that feeling that it's time to stop, so I don't know when it comes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Brilliant. All
I
right.
wish you the best.
Thanks.
Have
Thank
same
you
to
so much for coming on the couch.
Yeah, thanks for your
We
time
wish
too.
we wish you all the best in your upcoming
Thanks.
fights. I want to see the Angela Lee and you fight.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah, that'll be
rooting-
exciting.
I'll be
man.
rooting for the proper Singaporean.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any shout outs that you want to give out to sponsors or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors for my last fight. So I managed to get an ice cream sponsor, Calories Ice Cream. Check them out.
Ooh.
So
how much? Okay, how much ice cream do you get?
it's like the first time they gave me like 6 pints, and then they were like they gave money too, like for the fight.
Right.
So and it's a local company. It's a pretty new company.
What's it called again?
Calories, Callery. So it's a low calorie ice cream. So 1 pint is about the whole pint is like I think max 400 calories.
Does it taste as good as
Yeah,
those
it's
with
good,
a
man,
lot of
it's good.
calories?
What's their Instagram page?
Calories ice cream. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
We'll put it down on the link.
Yeah, so check them out. Like I didn't miss weight, so it's legit.
So you got to eat ice cream and yet made weight.
Yeah,
Legit.
that's some diet hacks for you. Yeah.
That's all.
And my SNC coach, Black Cat Movement, check him out. And my home team, Team Highlight Reel, like the win is not possible without all these guys. Yeah, that's all.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for your time
And
too.
I hope to see you fighting again so that we can cheer you on.
Mm-hmm.
Now have
Hopefully
fun in
soon.
Bali.
Right, thanks.
Chill out.
We're out. All right.
All right.